So, will we see further COVID-19 clusters seeded in Australia as a result of a Christmas where so many people are reunited and reunited indoors? Now, in some jurisdictions, especially New South Wales, which is dealing with a spreading cluster, there was to be, I guess, a sense of inevitability about what may come from that. And the next challenge, of course, will be how to hold major fireworks displays on New Year's Eve in a COVID-safe way. The New South Wales branch of the AMA wants the government to cancel the Sydney Harbour fireworks display and keep people at home. Its chairman is Dr Michael Bonning, and I spoke with him earlier today. I asked firstly if New South Wales was on the brink of containing the Northern Beaches cluster.
I think that's a tricky statement to make when we don't have all of the cases accounted for as to where they've come from. We're getting there, but we still have this this thing that's hanging over us, which is where did this cluster start from? How exactly did it commence? And importantly, as we've seen time and again, both in Australia and overseas, you need to have sustained periods of zero cases to ensure that things are actually under control. Because if you drop your guard, the virus will find new people to infect, and when it does, things can really take off again. So I'm very optimistic about how we're doing, and I've seen the contact tracers and New South Wales Health at work over these last few days, and they have been doing a fantastic job. There's a lot of great support, both from staff within New South Wales Health and in other health services, private health services, but also from the public in making it easy and making sure that people are actually telling us everywhere they've been and everything that they've done, so that it makes for a really good, picture and map, so that we can actually go and find other cases.
60,000 tests, that is stunning, isn't it?
It's amazing. And I'm lucky enough, I suppose, to work within some of the testing service within New South Wales, and people have been in good spirits about things. They've been incredibly respectful of our staff. They've been incredibly appreciative of what's been going on. And, at this time of year when everyone's pretty tired and burnt out, that's the part that I take a lot of positivity from, that people are doing the right thing, but they're also recognising that no one is here to try and make Christmas bad for them. Everyone's trying to do the right thing and look after everyone else out there in the community. So it's a good vibe.
Are you content, though, with the adjustment to COVID protocol and restrictions in Sydney made yesterday by the Premier?
I think that there's a view on this, that there's a lot of things to balance. From a medical standpoint, we certainly think that the cluster is, we're identifying cases, and they're all, they're continuing to be linked to that cluster, which does make the risk, in the way that the Northern Beaches have been divided, not unreasonable. It's certainly, I still think there's still going to be some concern, and we're probably going to sit with our fingers crossed in the days post-Christmas, looking at testing numbers, so people continuing to come forward and be tested, and then also the number of positive cases.
Because let's get real, I don't think the Premier would have changed any restriction in Greater Sydney or the Northern Beaches if it weren't for the fact that we had Christmas. And so she's saying, hey, listen, you've deserved it. But we know, that as everyone comes indoors for Christmas Day, the spread of the virus is almost assured.
Yeah, so internal environments are where we think that there are, it's more likely to spread. It's enclosed air spaces where, people are talking. We certainly think that those environments are higher risk. And so, anyone with a respiratory symptom shouldn't be, engaging with others for Christmas. If this is this one Christmas where you take some more precautions, it's a pretty important one to do so, because lots of the rest of our Christmases and New Year's really depend on everyone being really responsible. And if that's what we're doing, seeing out the end of 2020 over these next few days, the idea would be to see in 2021 in a much more positive light, where we've got things really under control and we know we're headed on the right trajectory.
So what's your feeling about the next challenge, which is New Year's Eve and fireworks displays right across the nation, but in particular the massive crowd that comes for New Year's Eve fireworks on Sydney Harbour?
So the biggest challenge is policing that, is making, and I think both our police, our health services, the rest of our emergency responders, everyone else, they've got a lot on their plate at the moment. There's a lot going on with how we're managing this cluster and just everything else. They've had a big year, and I'm certainly of the view, and the AMA is certainly of the view, that the New Year's Eve fireworks are a risk, and you just can't put that many people together, even if there is a ticketing system or anything like that, and expect that there won't be a lot of close contact between people on those foreshores. They get really crowded regardless of how you try and control people, because everyone's natural inclination is to want to get up close and have the best vantage point and get a great photo and see the fireworks. And I totally understand that. I love that part of Sydney. We have the most amazing fireworks anywhere in the world, and we get to ring in New Year's Eve pretty much before anyone else. Yeah. But maybe this year it's an opportunity to watch it on TV from home and enjoy that, knowing that it's not just contributing to your own safety, it's contributing to everyone else's safety too. So
maybe we do 3 minutes or 5 minutes at midnight only, just so we can get rid of 2020.
Just so we can get rid of 2020 and have a really good start to 2021.
Dr. Michael Bonning, thank you very much for your time. Merry Christmas to you as well.
Merry Christmas, Chris.